What's up, y'all? It's your boy Trey Swish back at it again with another video, and welcome to the Ether. Thank you for watching. We're gonna watch a video that is made by Actman today. If you don't know who he is a great content creator. I found out who he was from why Halo 2 is so great. I will go back and watch that video one day. But I was actually scrolling through his channel because I realized that I've never scrolled through Actman's channel before. He had this big debate with Andy something, which was hilarious. I didn't want to watch it because it was really cringe how it was kind of portrayed on Twitter. It was some kind of debate. Andy seemed to be like some kind of grifter or something. Called him woke on Twitter. I saw that. And I paid it no attention at all, but it literally just kept on pursuing in my feed. That eventually I just watched it when I was really bored. And he just dismantled the guy completely. And it really showed, it highlighted how I feel like grifters are like, there's people that like think they're misunderstood and they're like, people don't understand where they're coming from, but then there's like, you know, gotcha questions and stuff like that all the time, and it's like they're catering to an audience so heavily that they're actually being disingenuous to the audience. But nevertheless, I just pretty much got done listening to that podcast, or what do you want to call it, a debate video. And I clicked on his channel, and I was scrolling all the way down, and I found a gem that I've never seen before. There's actually a lot of videos I've never seen before, but he mentioned his old content, and a lot of it I was like, wait, I thought I was an Actman fan, and then I realized I hadn't heard of this stuff at all. So there's one that caught my eye, and I just want to throw this back into the algorithm because honestly, this is my one of my favorite games of all time. It is KOTOR. What does that mean? It's Knights of the Old Republic. Why it's so awesome, and I'm really excited to hear his take on it because he has some really good takes sometimes. That's my phone, it's not you. All right, let's get into the video. My headset dead? There we go. Restart it. Classic.
Thank goodness you're awake, Rev. Thank goodness you're awake, Ass Muncher 43. Now come on, the Endar Spire is under attack, and we've got to get off this ship.
It's so weird to look at Actman without a goatee and earrings.
Just some
so
character
different.
Who's hopefully not gonna die within 5 minutes of meeting the main character.
Yeah, hopefully.
Now come on, we don't have much time. Astela's the commanding officer of the Endar Spire, and if you play your cards right, she could be a potential romance option somewhere down the line.
These subtitles are pissing me off right now.
Astela's physical attractiveness.
Hold on, let me turn them off for us because that's going to be annoying.
This is irrelevant to our current mission, which is getting the fuck off the Endar Spire, you goddamn retard. If you're some kind of idiot, or this is your first time playing a video game, I can run through the basic controls with you, but hopefully we don't get blasted to fucking smithereens while you're learning how to press the A button.
Oh boy, that'd be unfortunate.
Alright then, let's get moving.
Oh my god. Yep, this is so accurate. Bro, when did he make this video? I wonder how he mirrored himself like that. Jesus, this was made 6 years ago? Oh, wow. Okay. Looks older. Oh, no!
These Sith must be the advanced boarding party for the Republic!
Yeah! Bro, what a fucking game, man.
If you've heard of any Star Wars video game out there in cyberspace, then you've no doubt heard about Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic.
I hope so.
I mean, the title itself just sounds so badass.
Yep.
And the cover is stylized just like the movie posters.
Hell yeah.
Signaling to you, hey buddy, if you play this game, you'd better get ready to experience a story as good as any of the films.
Arguably better.
Knights of the Old Republic, abbreviated as KOTOR, is often hailed by many to be the best Star Wars video game ever made.
I mean, I mean, is that even a question? Is it? Like, what do you think? What game's better than this? Like, I guess you could have, the updated games, like, Jedi Fallen Order and all that kind of stuff. But man, what are we talking about? It's definitely not Outlaws or whatever. Fuck no. This shit goes hard.
And boy, let me tell ya, with the massive, seemingly endless number of games in this Titanic
Bro, there was a golden era. Oh my god, until these fuckers right here.
franchise, that's saying a whole lot. By the same token, it is also considered to be one of the greatest video games of
What the fuck? They got Doom above it? Bro, come on, man.
all time. With a
Doom that good?
reputation like that, the countless awards, people calling it the 2003 Game of the Year, and
What one?
with the power of the Star Wars logo
Did he say what one? 2 times as many Game of the Year awards in second place? What the fuck? Oh, did they have like multiple Game of the Years? Yeah, they did. And they really have like a very, I guess it was just multiple outlets. What is this? Disagy? Call of Duty 4 makes sense. Wind Waker? I didn't play Wind Waker. Vice City is a dime. So yeah. But yeah, this should have won. This should have beat all of them, bro. By far. Fucking Madden NFL. Bro. Who the fuck voted for this? ESPN?
calling it the 2003 Game of the Year, and with the power of the
Whoa. I'm so sorry. I keep on skipping.
countless awards, people calling
Prince of Persia, Sands of Time? How the fuck did they only get 1 award and fucking Grand Theft Auto got 2 and Wind Waker got 8? That's crazy. Sands of Time is the greatest Prince of Persia game ever made. I don't know about Ratchet and Clank. They say it's pretty good. Morrowind I've heard a lot about too. But I never played that shit. This shit's too old. This is one of those old games that I'll go back and play because I have that nostalgia for it. Same with Call of Duty 4 for sure.
it the 2003 Game of
That's
the Year,
crazy.
and with the power of the Star Wars logo and brand behind it, KOTOR is definitely one of the most important games from the last 2 decades. But has the game aged as well as some others? Has
Hell no. That shit aged like milk, but I'll still go back for, nostalgia.
KOTOR become outdated?
Yep.
And is it truly worthy of being called one of the greatest of all time?
Yep.
And does it honestly possess a timeless story?
Yep.
Well,
100%. The story carries everything. The mechanics are pretty cool too, but the gameplay itself is ass.
let's break into people's
bad.
houses, murder them, then take their stuff, get lectured by an old black guy, and search for the
course.
star maps. Straight into this.
Oh, this is such a bro. It's perfect for movies.
KOTOR came out on the original Xbox, and it's no
Ooh,
wonder
baby.
Microsoft was able to break into the console market when they had some of the best goddamn exclusives of any console in history. Honestly, Microsoft was never widely known for their exclusive RPGs.
There's people that say, I think they actually, it was in Ackman's little debate. They were saying that they're saying Microsoft is a software company, not a creative company. But dude, they had so many bangers, man. And Ackman's point was pretty much like Microsoft didn't handle the relationships with the leadership of those bangers very well. But that's par for the course when you're dealing with artists, creative people, artists, egos, it all gets in the way at the end of the day. It's a little confusing.
In fact, all 3 Xboxes were somewhat notorious for not possessing a killer RPG, but KOTOR was that killer app.
Yep.
Besides Halo, it gave me a reason to brag to all
It's more of an RPG than Halo. Just like the typical RPG mechanics and everything like that, for sure. Like when I thought of RPG for the longest time, I thought of a game that was like KOTOR. Create your own player, do your own decisions, your decisions reflect on who you become because you have the dark side, light side. I thought it was like the bar for RPGs. Later did I find out that RPGs, very wide spectrum.
all those gay station fanboys,
Oh, boy.
and they always agreed. Yeah, I love the PlayStation, they'd say, but goddamn, I wish I could play KOTOR. The point I want to
Yep.
make right off the bat
And
is a game
Halo.
like this totally changed people's minds about the Xbox and its catalog of games. An exclusive single-player Star Wars RPG,
Yep.
and critics are calling it one of the best ever made? Well, slap my nuts and call me a Jawa, I'ma get me an Xbox. That's the type of power this game had. KOTOR's gameplay is vastly different from most other games and
Yeah.
even other RPGs. I'll explain
Who plays this game, bro? Who plays this game? I've literally seen no one play this game. I just see cutscenes of that shit.
Explain this in a bit. Now, BioWare had gotten some renown with their incredible Baldur's Gate games, Neverwinter Nights, and damn, they really liked using Dungeons and Dragons as a basis for their games. But anyways, BioWare wasn't all that well known back in the day, and when this fire, this absolute butter, came out, they made a name for themselves. They force-pushed their way into the spotlight and let the whole galaxy know they meant business. I mean, if you look at how BioWare has made their games ever since KOTOR, you can clearly see them trying to replicate the same things that made it so great. Dialogue choices, morality system,
I love it. I love it. But it's really hard to capture that lightning a second time in that bottle.
intricate world design, compelling dynamic characters, all that good shit.
Somebody's been drinking.
What most people know of BioWare and what they think about them as a company stems from Knights of the Old Republic. So just to be clear, I'm going to be using footage from 2 different playthroughs, one with mods, one without. Also some videos from
Damn, that chin fat. Holy fuck, look at this shit.
footage from 2 different playthroughs, one with mods, one without.
An extended clip, bruh. Pull that shit off and put it right into a gun. That's crazy.
Also some videos from YouTube because it's a real bitch to track down all the moments and dialogue that I talk about. So if things look different between the footage, that's why. Now I'm not gonna lie, because I'd get dark side points and I'm trying to stay light side. But the gameplay is definitely clunky, and so is the movement. I reckon most of this is due to the AI of the time, and like the weird automated paths characters take.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the more frustrating things is when you get stuck on nothing.
Oh my god,
fuck's
it's the
blocking
worst.
me right
An invisible force field in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Like, why is it right there?
now? The air, it's also annoying as balls
It's the force.
when the other 2 companions don't follow you when you charge into battle fighting off 8 million rat ghouls. But to be fair, when you boot up a game
Man.
from 2003, you should know what you're getting into.
Oh my god, I hate it too when it crashes, dude. This game crashed so much on me. It was such an it was such a nuisance. And I don't know if it's because I was always playing on the Xbox 360 or you know, I wasn't on the original hardware or what, but dude, this game crashed like no other. And that was back before we had Blu-ray. The thing, if you scratch up your disc a little bit, it's bound to freeze at some point. Even if you like save the game to the Xbox 360, it's still gonna, you know, still gonna stop.
No game is ever perfect, and these mild technical problems are nothing close to game breaking. It's frustrating, yeah, but getting stuck on a corner every 30 minutes is worth the 40 hours of excellent story.
I think the benefit of it too, you don't have to have updates and wait for it to be, you know, not buggy. It's just you got what you got, and later on we got mods and stuff like that helped out definitely for the second game. Because oh boy, did they didn't finish that second game at all.
This style of gameplay really didn't appeal to me as a kid. I didn't quite understand it. I wanted something self-explanatory and simple, like Jedi Academy or Jedi Outcast. But since I've grown up, I see the magic in it.
Oh, I loved it from the get-go just because of the story. I love and the customization, being able to like give people lightsabers and shit. Oh, it was so awesome. Picking what team you wanted to go out from the ship. Oh man.
Brilliant combination of action and strategy. Although to this day I still don't fully understand how the system and numbers work.
Yeah,
I know it's
it's
based
confusing.
on dice rolls,
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, whatnot. But regardless, the combat intrigued me. It was always fun experimenting with different builds, choosing talents, force powers, feats, upgrading your gear and dishing out the best equipment to your favorite characters. The ability to pause and set up your plan of attack was a wonderful idea.
I wonder if Skyrim got that from this game. Or maybe, I don't know when Morrowind came out because that's obviously Elder Scrolls. So maybe that was the first one to do it. I don't know, but Skyrim does this too.
Oftentimes you'd get to a hard part, and after dying a few times, you'd know what's coming next.
Yep.
So smart players could plant mines, power up beforehand,
I never did that. Wow.
set their companions in the best place. While younger me didn't understand this back in the day, thankfully I've realized that KOTOR isn't just another mindless beat 'em up, and for that, it stands out from the crowd. Earlier I mentioned the gameplay is vastly different.
I think the way I realized that was I actually tried to be strategic as a kid. Like I remember the first time I played this game, and there was like so many like I forgot what planet it was on, but it's like when you're about to go in the Sith temple, and so I was like, fuck this, I'm done like fighting all these like firefights and shit like that. I want to get straight to the action. So I put on my invisibility suit or whatever, and like went past everybody. And then I got into the middle of the temple, and then it wore out, and I was like had a save checkpoint right there because I was like, all right, I'm about to go in here. Dude, I got straight fucked up every single time I would die. Spawn, fucked up again. Bro, it was so annoying.
To most RPGs. That's in part because most RPGs were either full-on action or turn-based like the Final Fantasy games. Occasionally there's a game like Paper Mario that comes along and combines the two, but for the most part these two styles of gameplay were hardly ever meshed together. KOTOR is different also because the combat is only a portion of the gameplay. There's actually a ton of mini games and puzzles to solve, from swoop races to pure Pazaak.
Bro, Pazaak went hard. That's the only card game I've liked. Bro, it's so much fun. Except for obviously like poker and like Red Dead Dimension 2. Like that's obviously it's poker. And you're in Red Dead, like it's just sick aesthetic. But like Pazaak is the only card game that I've like really liked to play inside a video game. Like Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't count because that's a card game by itself already.
And of course, the dueling arena. There's enough variety in the game that keeps things fresh throughout. One of the coolest moments in the game is when you're on Kashyyyk, and in order to access the star map, you're given a sort of morality quiz. It tests you on what a Sith leader, such as Revan, would do when posed with various tactical military choices. The point of this puzzle is to show the player how concerns over morality can compromise victory in war. Kashyyyk is also home to the most fucking annoying sound effect ever conceived.
Oh my god, what is it? Is it the fucking little monster things? Yeah.
It's bad enough they do this while you're talking.
And it's just constant. Yeah, it also has that dialogue weirdness where like the sound stays at the same level and the dialogue's at the same level. The new Final Fantasy has the same thing, but it's because NPCs, when you walk past them, they have the same level as dialogue as the main person telling you a story. And a lot of time in that game, it's open world game, so when you're walking around, they're leading you to the next checkpoint or whatever it is, and they're telling you like specific like story points that you need to hear, but you have like 200 NPCs next to you all talking at the same level every time you pass them. It's fucking annoying.
Talking to people, but what's worse is it never fucking stops.
Nope.
All dinner. 152 attempts by human Jolie Bindo. All dinner. Error.
The game has a great addition in the form of terminals and robots you can reprogram using spikes and repair parts. If you've got enough supplies and a character with the right...
Bro, the first time I played this shit, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. Bro, I went back and played it, I think like probably like 8 years ago or something like that. Just crazy to think. And I was like amazed at how easy the game was compared to what I thought it was. I thought it was so fucking hard, bro. I thought it was harder than Elden Ring was. As a kid, this was like one of the hardest games I ever played.
Right skills.
Except for the Lion King game, obviously. That shit's notorious.
You can make really tough areas a lot easier, or even take out a whole room of bad guys. No other game I've seen really has a mechanic like this, and it adds another layer of depth, strategy, pre-planning. There's a lot of nuances in the form of managing items like grenades, shields, and stimulants. Alongside your force powers, this can get a little complicated, but it makes the gameplay more strategic and rewarding when you do succeed.
And it also adds an effect of like, fuck, do I want to use this right now to get through this obstacle, or can I grind it out and get through without using it? It's a lot of games, they'll have these items where you can use them, but it's easy enough to actually play without the items. So in the end of the game, you have such a backlog of like a backpack full of items, which is annoying. But yeah, this game, it's like, dude, you're dry the whole game because you're using your shit.
The choices you make in battle are just as important as the ones you make through the story. So it strikes a nice balance. One important thing with RPGs is that they maintain a consistent challenge from start to finish. And KOTOR does a damn good job of that, for the most part. Near the end, if you've been doing most of the side quests, you'll be pretty overpowered. But all the bosses and even Malik are not to be taken lightly. See, when a game offers a good challenge throughout its entirety, it means the player is more likely to finish it because no matter how far they progress, they're still overcoming a new challenge. But even if you're the type of person who hates...
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Obviously, when you're older, you do more shit. You understand the game better. And when I was older and did the last playthrough, I was like going through it pretty easily, because I was doing all the side quests and shit. But as a kid, dude, you just try to rush through everything, not understanding shit, bro. The game seems so fucking hard.
This type of gameplay, there's no question that KOTOR is worth playing for the story
Skill
alone.
gap? Yep.
And a game like that is a rare find indeed. The big thing with KOTOR is your main character can't do everything, so strategy is a very important factor in your success.
Yep.
You can cover most of the bases yourself, but you'll need to figure out who best to take with you, so that you can pick up mines or hack terminals, etc. For the first part of the game, team composition is very important.
Yep.
Though I'll admit, once you get Jolie and Juhani, you pretty much just take Jedi with you the rest of the
Everywhere,
way.
yep.
But I don't, because you can get some real interesting dialogue by switching up partners.
Bro, the dialogue, like, this is what got me with Final Fantasy VII Remake when I first played that. I was obsessed with the story. Hey, let me put my thing down here now. Sorry about that. I just moved it earlier. What was this a little bit too? The dialogue, or not the dialogue, shit. Control Z. Sorry. Oh my god, what the fuck did I just do to my face? Alt. There we go. Very nice indeed. The connection between the different characters, just hearing their experiences, understanding their story, and they also progress, you know, like real people. I fucking love it. It's what made me love the game so much.
And I like the concept of going on an epic journey and taking everyone along with you at some point. It's also important what class you pick at the start, because
Really? I had no idea, dude. I didn't think anything did. Like, it just adjusts the skills a little bit, I think.
I think the Scoundrel is the only class that can max out Persuasion. And you're gonna want Persuasion.
Okay.
Trust me. If you plan on seeing and choosing the most interesting options the game has to offer, it's essential. But if you really think about it, a good chunk of the game is actually you talking to people.
Yeah, it's 100%. I always have my charisma or persuasion all the way up. Since this game, it carried over to Fallout, carried over to Skyrim, carried over to pretty much any RPG that has this mechanic in it, because I want to know the whole story, for sure.
Making decisions, learning about the Jedi, the Sith, the Force, the galaxy, and the history that binds them. So let's take a look at the other side of KOTOR's gameplay, and arguably the most important.
Ooh. What is it?
The biggest reason for KOTOR's success is its brilliant writing.
How impatient can one person be? You must have driven your mother mad.
Bro, whoever wrote these scripts, Disney, hire them. If they're still around, please, 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 please go get them. Please. Because whatever they did worked. What y'all are doing is not working. At all.
All that gurgling and fussing. Babies are cute, but annoying.
The designs of the characters, the dialogue, perceptions of morality, and the choices you make along the way are all concepts introduced in the films.
I know, I hated it when my teammates would be bitching about me doing something evil or something like that. It was like, bro, chill the fuck out. You part of the squad. Roll with the squad. This is the vibe. You like it? If you don't, get the fuck out. Bro, it would be so annoying. It's like, oh, goody two-shoes over here wants to be a good guy now. It's like, bro, come on now. Don't change up on me.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
And KOTOR allows you to play through that, a grand adventure just like the movies, but you make the choices. And the feeling of power, satisfaction that KOTOR creates with this system is something few games have ever achieved.
Yeah, I don't know any. There's a couple, but there's not a lot.
It's no secret these dialogue trees and morality systems have been implemented in so many games after KOTOR.
What the fuck? Was that a little girl? You with the shotgun? Motherfucker said rescue or kill?
KOTOR. Now, it's not the game that pioneered these mechanics. There have been different variations of this, like in the old.
Luckily, they didn't get patented. Yeah, well, imagine if the gameplay, or yeah, that game mechanic would have been patented. Oh my god, we would have never got KOTOR. But if this, we know Nintendo didn't fucking make this game mechanic, because that shit would have happened.
Fallout games,
Guaranteed.
Ace Attorney, Morrowind, and probably some other games.
Wow.
But KOTOR certainly brought these ideas to the mainstream. Character influence wasn't in the first game, but KOTOR 2 brought it in a year later.
Oh, yeah.
All these facets have become staples of BioWare games. But why? Why were these dialogue choices and morality systems replicated so much after KOTOR 1?
Because they're so addictive and it creates replayability, obviously.
Well, because it's fucking great.
Hell yeah.
As opposed to a game that plays the same way every time, the player can significantly
Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, you get the point.
alter events with their choices, resulting in vastly different outcomes. They mostly fall into light or dark side categories.
Yep.
But even though
And you get another ending. You get 2 different endings, which is awesome. I like that shit.
simplistic, it offers immense replay value. If you play light side, you'll probably be thinking, what would have happened in this one scenario had you approached it from the dark side, and vice versa.
Yep.
The game does have numerous points where you have the illusion of choice, in that the game could give you 3 options that all result in the same response.
I was always so mad I couldn't get that little Twilight girl to have force powers, because her story and dialogue was actually pretty good. If I could have had just the Wookiee and her, and they both like be force sensitive, I would have stayed with them the whole time. Maybe Mandalore, I don't know. He was pretty cool too.
Your words mean nothing to me.
Oh, he was in the second game? Or was he in the first?
You only realize that after you've played through 2 or 3 times, which is totally fine. One of the most fun things about KOTOR is the encounters. Those moments when you walk by a group of NPCs
Yep.
and you're forced into some dialogue.
Ooh, hey, look at this. It's shit.
Oh, no!
I'm so scared. Ooh.
Pro tip, anytime you see a bunch of NPCs, shit is most certainly going to go down.
And I love it because it's a Star Wars game, and you can either save someone from being robbed, or you can let it happen and then rob the person that's robbing them. It's just awesome. It's awesome. What are y'all doing, Outlaws? I don't want to rob the cops. I want to rob everybody else. Come on now.
This really does make the
And the
game
cops.
exciting, especially on the first playthrough,
Yep.
because you're thrust into these moments where you need to make decisions. You're put on the spotlight and you don't know what to expect. The game keeps you on your toes, and it helps with all the downtime of running around and doing the main quest.
Oh my god, this planet. Oh, bro, you can get lost on it like crazy. It has like so many sections of this map, and it's confusing as fuck. You can get turned around so easily. As a kid, I hated this planet, the one with the Jedi Temple. Bro, I didn't know where the fuck I was for like 5 hours, 6 hours at a time. I'd be like, dude, fuck this. I need to restart. I missed something. I'm just walking in circles this whole time. Oh, I cannot tell you how much I fucking hated that planet. It was like Dantooine, I think.
Sometimes you might be able to prevent a fight breaking out, or you could take part in the fight, threaten people, and take their credits. It's invigorating. You feel powerful. Sometimes I'd spend like 5+ minutes deciding over which option to pick when talking to someone.
Yep.
The amount of thought I could put into these decisions shows how deep and impactful they are to the player, and how much they care about what they're doing. Now, KOTOR wouldn't be half as interesting if it wasn't fully voice acted, which is great.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, the game like this that doesn't, it's just text scroll, like a lot of Switch games, bro, that shit's annoying as fuck. I can't do it, bro. Let me hear them emphasize their fucking words.
Because some characters really embellish their roles,
Yes.
and I find that freaking hilarious.
Oh, hello again. Oh, you didn't come to make a complaint about the mess in the building. I keep
just
asking
walking around
for
like
an
a
assistant.
dumbass.
Is somebody out there? Fishy, fishy, fishy. Come eat me too.
With the amount of voice acting that must have gone into this game,
Oh, man.
it's incredible how good the voices are. From one-off NPCs to merchants, important characters, and of course your companions.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about HK.
The excellent writing and great voice acting go hand in hand to truly immerse you in this world and make you care about what's going on. You can understand what's at stake based on the emotion and tone of voice NPCs speak in. The game does reuse character models, and the animations
A
look
lot.
pretty funny nowadays, but it's totally fine because of the time this game came out and
Yep.
how vast it is. The dialogue from the aliens was a really nice touch as well. Granted, they probably did this for budget and data reasons, as it would have been easier to reuse the same lines for different aliens.
Honestly, it's never been like a problem of mine, because when it's an alien, you're always reading the text anyway, so it's just like background noise, so it kind of creates like this appeal in a way. It works, in my opinion. It does work. I don't need them to like create a whole language for Star Wars. It's not Lord of the Rings or anything like that. And even with like people that do that, it's not needed at all. Just don't repeat the same phrase over and over and over if it's a movie. But this is, you know, a game back in the day. It's, who gives a fuck?
I know it's kind of annoying to hear the same thing over and over.
But it's not right next to each other typically. Obviously with editing, it's kind of absurd looking.
And over. It feels like Star Wars. Because it'd be weird if every alien talked in galactic basic.
Or having just one alien in one scene. That would be really weird too, but I mean, Star Wars isn't ever going to do that, right?
One thing you might not have noticed is depending on the important nouns, the alien dialogue can be completely unique to that sentence or line.
Yep.
For instance, you can hear Azure say, "Star Killer," amongst the other flabby noises he makes. It's a level of detail I think most people missed, and these alien voices overall are an excellent world-building tool.
I forgot. This game is what taught me what strippers were. I've completely forgot, because I watched Return of the Jedi a million times, never understood it. But when I played this video game, it clicked.
But what really makes KOTOR so memorable is the companions.
Yep.
The characters that tag along with
100%.
you in your travels. Every one of them has a backstory, a motivation for what they're doing, and it's up to you if you want to unravel that and learn more about it.
Bro, I killed her the first time I played this game, and when I went back and played it, I was so pissed at my younger self. I was like, what the fuck? She could have been on my team this whole time.
About them, which brings up a very important point. KOTOR is as immersive and as long of a journey as you want it to be. You might be the type of player who wants to find every nook and cranny. You may want to learn about every detail about the world's lore, universe, and characters.
When it's a good story, you want to know more about it, straight up.
Or you might only care for what's essential. Either way, you're not forced to talk to some protocol droid for 10 minutes, but you can choose to talk to him. And that's such a great thing about KOTOR. Not every...
That protocol droid story is fucking weird, bro. What was his owner doing, man?
Every NPC is essential to
if
talk to.
You know.
Like there's this weird alien in the cantina who appears to serve no purpose other than to immerse the player in the city of Terrace and shed light on a bizarre planet and alien species. It's not essential, you don't get any XP, but it's there. And that's why people get so invested into these games, because the main story is surrounded by stuff that is equally as interesting. But going back to the companions, you know you've got great characters when you can describe each one of them in detail, what makes them tick, and all that. Quite honestly, I could discuss these characters in depth for hours, but we'll keep it somewhat brief.
Oh my god, an AK-47, what the fuck?
The first real character to join you is Karth Onasi. Sorry, Traskolgo. Now, Karth's kind of an annoying dickhead at first, but you'll learn he's got trust issues. Karth can be a potential romance option if you play as a female, but it's not as interesting or fleshed out as the alternative.
Yeah, that's a little bit more interesting in my opinion.
He was a soldier who really believed in the chain of command, but was betrayed by his commanding officer at the time, which resulted in the deaths of millions of people. Karth has a great sense of guilt following him, because he lost his family in this attack. He lost everything. His side quest revolves around getting revenge against Saul Kareth and finding his lost son Dusto, both of which are very interesting scenarios. It's even possible to kill Karth's son right in front of him, which is really fucked up. Good God.
Yeah, you can do a lot of shit like that in this game. It's a lot of fun, man.
Or you can save him and help him see the light.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Dusto. You aren't hanging on to a lie after you see it for what it is. Not everyone could do that.
Yep.
Maybe after this is all over we can talk. I'm still not sure about us, but I'll listen.
Guess what I did when I was a little kid? You'll never guess. Yeah.
Maybe we can get back to where we should have been.
Well, I'd like that.
But even though he's a mostly serious guy, Karth doesn't mind cracking a joke or giving a sarcastic comment.
Nope.
My lightsaber was misplaced.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You lost your lightsaber?
I mean, isn't that a violation of some kind of Jedi code or something?
Bro, they made my man look like, what the fuck? Oh, it's Keanu.
Because
what's going on with his face?
his loyalty and Saul was met with betrayal, Karth began expecting the worst from people. But because Revan was patient, listened, and put his trust in Karth, he learned forgiveness. The next person to group up is Mission Val, who looks like a young rogue. She learned to live on her own at a real young age, and she can be kind of a brat at times.
So fucking annoying sometimes, but her fucking story is fucking dialed in.
Are you ready to have a civil chat? Or is this gonna be another childish tantrum?
Oh boy.
Tantrum? I'm trying to apologize, you nerf herder. Nerf herder!
But as you do her side quest and travel with her, she starts to mature.
Yep.
She's pretty energetic and inquisitive, and despite her troubled childhood, manages to keep a positive outlook.
We found a young Twi'lek in the back. She's got quite the mouth on her. She swore at me and spit on my uniform. She tried to bite me through my armor, and you should hear what she said about my mother.
Mission can take care of herself, but is still innocent and a bit naive. She doesn't totally understand the world and the galaxy. Early on, she really...
Which is crazy, because she came from, like, the rut, right? She came from the fucking ghetto, like... Dude was in the streets.
believes in her brother. But when you actually track him down, you and her both realize that Griff is a pretty shitty brother who cares more about credits than he does his sister.
Oh, I forgot all about this story. Oh my god, it's fucking so dumb.
Mission is a troubled youth growing up in a difficult place in a difficult time, and she's the first one to jump to your defense when your true identity is revealed. Because before anyone else, Mission saw the good within you.
Hey, you've got nothing to be sorry about. You didn't ask for this. Besides, I know you. You're not Revan anymore. Whatever you used to be, you're one of us now.
I'm sorry, but the visors just throw me off so hard.
Not too long after recruiting Mission, you rescue Zalbar, a Wookiee, and he pledges a life debt to you. He seems pretty quiet and stoic, but when you travel with him to Kashyyyk, you learn he's got some demons in his past. His dad went missing, Zalbar got exiled, and his brother took over, and is selling his own people to slavers. You and Zalbar work together to either free the Wookiees from Zerka...
Bro, Disney could never, bro. This is why the project got canceled, I'm pretty sure. This shit's, bro... Oh, I wonder what it would have been like, the remake. I hope it comes out sometime. I fucking love this game.
Or side with Chundar. Once you're finished with Kashyyyk, Zalbar doesn't say much, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But his best moments come when he banters with Mission. Zalbar is honorable and loyal, and he takes great pride in the traditions of the Wookiees, though he does not think highly of himself, feeling great shame because of his exile. After that, you rescue Bastila Shan, who alongside Karth is the most important companion. She's a young Jedi with a great weight on her shoulders.
Sheesh! Bro, I used to have a huge crush on this chick.
Her battle meditation ability is prized and valued beyond belief by the Jedi Council. This puts a lot of pressure on her, and she tries to remain calm and collected and adhere to the Jedi Code, but she constantly struggles with that.
I don't know, it shouldn't be so hard not to think of you. It should be easy not to think of you. I should have discipline. Jedi...
Bro, I remember as a kid always trying to be like, which line of dialogue is gonna give me the best result of her liking me more? Bro, I was fucking little 12-year-old. I was obsessed with her and fucking Padme.
Discipline. Every time I try to call on all my teachings to calm myself, they fail me.
In addition to being a major part of the main story, Bastila's got a side quest where you find her mother, and depending on your choices, things can go well.
I do not remember this at all. What the fuck? What? What? Bro, the twist in the in the middle of the game is crazy with her too.
Or terribly. Besides Jolie, she's the most interesting of the group. She has a fall from grace, turns to the dark side, and ends up completely changing her views.
Okay.
You are strong, child, but I will break you.
I'll never fall to the dark side.
Shit. Headass. Next episode on KOTOR.
How could it be that such a rigid, strict adherent of the Jedi could be turned so easily? Bastila's character arc shows how enticing the dark side is, and how it takes incredible self-control to restrain oneself. When Bastila attacked Revan, a force bond between them was created. Visions of both of their pasts were seeped into the other's mind. Perhaps it was this bond that allowed her to fall to the dark side, experiencing Revan's darkest moments.
I think this is the earliest time we got a dyad in the Force. They handled it so well in this game. And obviously they didn't have the graphics and cinematics to allure to what that could look like. But I thought it was just kind of cheesy in my opinion with the dyad in the sequels. It was like really odd. Like they just randomly see each other and like have full conversations, and then they had a battle and they were actually like affecting the environments around them. I thought it was kind of just a little odd, a little too over the top, you know?
Perhaps it was the love she felt for Revan as
it should be like more mystical, more like, I don't know.
They traveled together. Either way, this bond is why she follows you, and it's the driving force of the story.
In some ways you make me feel weak, like I'm caught up in the wake of our destiny. But at the same time, you make me feel stronger, more alive. I realize now these feelings are part of the bond we share.
Through choosing the correct lines of dialogue, you can romance with Bastila, because why wouldn't you?
Oh my.
You tease her, compliment her, and this starts to wear down the Jedi protection, the armor she...
The Jedi condoms. The Force may penetrate now.
She so desperately covered herself in. There's a battle on Rakata where you can try to bring her back towards the light, and she's completely forsaken the Jedi.
Pale as shit.
Listen to me. The dark side leads to death and destruction. I've seen the horrors the Sith have unleashed on the galaxy. Turn away from this path.
Shut up, old man. Your time is over. The age of the Jedi and the Republic is no more. This is the age of Darth Revan and the Sith.
What's really messed up is if you go dark side, you end up killing 4 of your companions on Rakata, and because of that, I just can't play dark side. But on the Starforge, when you fight Bastila for the last time, she believes your weakness stems from adhering to the light. After you beat her, Bastila begs you to kill her, but if you've been romancing her, through the power of love, you can convince her to come back to the light.
You love me. There was a time I yearned for, and yet dreaded to hear those words. I loved you too, but I could never face who you were.
And it's just such an incredible subplot that I had to cover it, because there's no better motivation than...
Also, if you like the subplot and never read the books, go read the books, because it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. It's not exactly how I wanted it to end or anything like that, but it's more of the story. That's the best way I could say. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it is good. It's a good book to read.
Love. I mean, there's a reason she's on the front cover, you know?
Yeah.
Eventually you team up with Canderous, a Mandalorian who helps you escape Terrace. This guy is a fucking badass.
His story is probably one of the best besides Revan. Straight up. The books of Revan are so fucking good, man. Oh man, you gotta go read it. Whole backstory on the whole before this game, it's awesome.
That's alright. He's focused, aggressive, disciplined, and ambitious. He doesn't mince words or waste time with small talk.
Nope.
Bold talk from a broken down mercenary who is serving at Davik's heel. I'd call you his pet cat hound. But they have enough loyalty not to turn on their masters.
Insults? Maybe if your master had trained your lightsaber to be as quick as your tongue, you could have escaped those Vulkars, you spoiled little Jedi princess.
Mandalorians value combat and battle above all else,
Hell yeah.
And so Canderous has plenty of war stories to share with you. After losing the Mandalorian Wars, he too was...
Bro, we need a movie on that shit, straight up. The Mandalorian Wars would be a sick-ass movie.
Lost, looking for purpose, but never able to find satisfaction. The pride and honor of the Mandalorian race was stripped. His disappointment at what the Mandalorians have become is what motivates him. He craves excitement, the call of battle that all Mandalorians feel in their veins, and the honor one earns through victory and combat. And because of this, Canderous joins you, hoping to regain his pride.
Bro, we need to show the Mandalorians. Oh my god. Give me a Game of Thrones fucking style show that is KOTOR. Covers that time period, bro. It'd be so fucking good. Oh man, it could be 10 seasons long. It'd be so amazing.
And find his calling in life once more.
Yes,
Light side, dark side. It doesn't make any difference to me, Revan. I'll stick by you no matter what comes.
When you're on Dantooine, you're given a task by the Jedi Council to rid this local grove of the tainted evil. That evil turns out to be a KOTOR named Juhani.
Yep.
After beating her in combat, you can tell her to seek redemption from the Jedi Council because of the bad things she's done. After this, she insists on joining you. It's revealed that Juhani had a very troubled upbringing. Her father was killed on Terrace, and her mother borrowed money from the exchange in order to take care of her. Eventually, Juhani's mother collapsed in a cantina and never recovered. She was—
I'm sorry, I haven't played this game in so long. I do not remember her being this hideous. This is crazy. All those people that think they didn't make ugly characters back in the day, behold, example A, Johnny. God damn that chin, bro. Them lips, it looks like a freaking created character that, like, when people try to make the ugliest character possible, it's nuts.
Forced in—
freaking bald head with a high ponytail. Bro, this takes the cake.
into slavery and being treated like livestock
elf ears.
birthed a dark hatred within her.
Yep.
Funny enough, a group of Jedi, led by Revan, freed her from the slavers, and this inspired her to become a Jedi. Juhani struggles with her emotions more than the others. Her fierce determination to become the ideal Jedi—
yeah, you can tell this is fan art. Boy, where'd that chin go?
is what ironically led her to the dark side, as she couldn't accept failure. She didn't fully understand the teachings of her master, and she repeatedly lashes out against you when discussing her past.
Yep.
She holds a lot of resentment towards the people and groups that made her life hell growing up, and her side quest is about seeking revenge on the slaver who killed her dad and tried to purchase her as a slave. But with you at her side, you help her resist the temptation for revenge, and Juhani becomes stronger because of it.
After our last battle, KOTOR had nothing.
See, Ackman does the whole, like, good side completely. I like to mix it. Like, my last playthrough, I mixed it up. You know, I was trying to be good side as much as possible, but I like to, you know, dive a little deeper into the dark side here and there, but not completely. You know, you gotta stay a little, you know, balanced. Gotta be balanced now.
Left to teach me. I needed time alone to explore the turmoil of my own spirit. Only then was I ready to follow a guide. You, back to the light.
Well, he's not gonna talk about the other option you can do? Alright. Okay.
By traveling to Kashyyyk, you find—
so you have an option where she pretty much,
Jolie Bindo, an old hermit who lives in the dangerous Shadowlands below the tall trees. He's somewhat of an enigma, with unclear motives, desires, and seemingly incoherent stories to tell with little to no point. But beneath all the crazy is a man with incredible wisdom and an incredible story. Jolie is one of the best things to come out of Star Wars, because as far as I know, he's one of 2 characters in the entire universe who side with neither the light or dark, but settle in between.
Without the guidance of the Council, how can you avoid falling to the dark side?
Well, I've managed to avoid it the last 20 years or so. Besides, light side, dark side, they don't mean the same to me as they do to you. I don't see in absolutes.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
He's not willing to ignore his natural human desires like love and be a part of the rigid Jedi.
I'm pretty sure in canon nowadays there's a couple more characters like this. I just can't remember their names off the top of my head. Especially after Order 66, because obviously, you know, lack of training, the Council, a lot of hypocrisy got exposed from that situation. So yeah,
But he's in control of his emotions enough to not fall to the dark side and become Sith.
Love doesn't lead to the dark side.
Nope.
Passion can lead to rage and fear and can be controlled. But passion is not the same thing as love. Controlling your passions while being in love, that's what they should teach you to beware. But love itself will save you.
I think a big issue with Star Wars is word vomit. Because obviously you can be passionate about saving people and stuff like that, which could lead to the dark side, but also can help people. So I don't know. I think passion is a good thing. I don't know. It was a really weird, like, trying to understand this story when I was like a little kid. Because it was like, wait, what? Jedi don't like passion? Like, you know, I didn't know all the lore and the Sith mantra and all that kind of stuff.
Not condemn you.
He's the only character in the game who truly understands the flaws of both ideologies and how both lead to destruction in some form or another.
There should be more characters like this, in my opinion. It makes it too, like, one-sided, because I feel like more people would relate to that in general, like, as a viewer. So that really should be the norm, but maybe that's what makes it more, transferable, you know, more immersive as a experience, because it's a different, you know, different time, different place, different ethics, different values and percentages of those values, I guess you could say.
I want to stop Malak as much as anyone, but I don't have to join the Order to do it.
True.
Look at Karth or Canderous. They're with us in this quest, but they are Jedi. The capacity for good or evil, like the Force itself, is in all living creatures. And belonging to
As
the
he
Jedi
says it
Order,
while a
or the
Sith warrior
Sith, or
walks
any
past
group,
him.
won't change what you are at your core.
Jolee comes with you because he sees a great destiny about you, and it's not clear what this means until much later. Alongside Bastila and Malak, he's the only character that knows your true identity before you do. He's got 2 side quests, one where you help his friend Sunri in a murder trial, and another where you uncover his origins, why he was on Kashyyyk and all that. It turns out his wife was a Sith and he was a Jedi. When you talk with Jolee and listen to what he has to say, not only is the character, Revan, learning, but the player is as well.
Yep.
Jolee's teachings...
I think that makes the experience so much better because your mind just like, well, what's going to happen? If you just got everything from the front end, the story's not going to carry you throughout the story, and the gameplay sure isn't. You already got the story, so yeah, I love that decision. And a lot of games do this, obviously, but it's just another detail of why this game's so good, in my opinion.
And stories stretch beyond the contained world of KOTOR and the Star Wars universe.
Yep.
Look, everybody always figures the time they live in is the most epic, most important age to end all ages.
Jesus.
But tyrants and heroes rise and fall.
Yeah, what about the AI? Come on, show our times. It's pretty cool.
And historians sort out the pieces.
The only companion who kinda sucks is T3M4. Now, don't get me wrong, he's freaking awesome as a character in KOTOR 2.
He's a cool, yeah, he's way, yeah, he said it. Never mind. I'm not
But
gonna
in
even
this
go
game,
there.
he doesn't really say or do anything
No.
special. And finally, we have quite possibly the coolest character in the Star Wars
Fucking base, dude. This motherfucker is the most base robot out there.
universe.
Yep.
An undercover assassination droid built by Revan to facilitate communications
Just look at that motherfucker. How is he undercover? That motherfucker look evil as shit.
and put an end to hostilities.
I am a law-abiding droid.
Oh,
yes,
yeah?
indeed.
Yeah.
Law-abiding. That's me.
Masquerading as a protocol droid, we learned that HK was created to eliminate high-profile targets in an
What's to say? Actually, we learned most of this stuff in KOTOR 2, but this is it's cool, so it's all good.
attempt by Revan to maintain galactic stability and avoid costly wars. After Revan was captured, HK-47 moved around several different owners, none of whom understood what he was or respected his purpose. Being used for menial tasks, chores, HK grew a bitter resentment towards all organic meat bags.
Oh yeah, bro, fuck it. Oh, please show some lines.
And started hating them, specifically his owners. After you purchase him on Tatooine, you use his translator to communicate with the Sand People, though HK would prefer to blast them all. You can settle things peacefully, though. He's a comically bloodthirsty droid, noted for his hatred of pacifism and kindness. HK is quite unlike anything else, and he takes great pride in his capabilities, his uniqueness, and has immense respect for his original designer.
I'm sorry, they need to bring this game back and make it rated M. Oh, it'd be so fucking awesome. It'd be fucking game of the year for sure. If this game's rated M, oh my god. Dude. It's never gonna happen, but boy, I wish it would.
Upon learning he returned to his original master, HK's memory core is reactivated, and all his assassination protocols are restored. Even if the player is light-sided and prefers the path of non-violence, HK still
the same
respects
way.
you,
Yep.
knowing that it was by your devious designs that he exists in the first place. Throughout the game, your companions will interact with each other from time to time, often resulting in hilarious and insightful conversations.
Why not just...
So the best time is when you're just wandering constantly and you're kind of getting dull of the game, and then randomly you have them just have a cut scene pretty much, and they start talking to each other. It's like, oh fuck yeah, something's happening.
Shoot them where they stand. It would at least be more direct.
Observation. Yes, very efficient. It is what I would do.
Of course that's what you would do.
See, KOTOR isn't just a game where all these people follow you and only talk to you. They feel like real people all coming together with a common interest, but various reasons for what they're doing. Your companions react to how you handle certain choices.
I just realized I can't think of another game that does that. Because obviously you'll have, you know, like cut scenes where the characters interact, or like you'll have like dialogue options when you go up and talk to them and they're talking to each other. But I don't think I've played a game where it just like stops the game randomly when you get to a certain point and they just start mingling. I actually love that about this game. It's so underrated. I don't know what other games have. Fuck, I can't think of one.
They'll interject with their thoughts and approval or disapproval. It's nice to get feedback from the people around you and you learn more about them. But most importantly, through you, the player, every companion can find their salvation. It is your choices, your destiny as Revan, that allows you to bring your companions that which they need most. A leader you can trust, a friend who looks out for you, a man who respects your traditions and helps you reconcile with your past, a warrior you can fight besides, who brings you honor and is worthy of your loyalty.
Act Man is getting me hype as fuck. Like, I want to play this game now again. Fuck. Oh, man.
A student who listens and learns from your teachings, a man who saved you from a life of servitude, the ideal Jedi that inspires you, your owner and creator, the only one who understands and respects what you are, and a lover who would risk his life to save yours, who believes in you no matter what. It's because of these companions and how they play off of you that KOTOR has such a great story and universe. A Star Wars game driven by its characters, who are all connected to you, the player, is such a gripping, powerful concept that in this instance is executed perfectly.
Perfecto. It's so good.
Knights of the Old Republic is the type of game that absolutely should be played at least twice. Once blind, so you can take everything in, learn the mechanics, choose a side, experiment, and the second playthrough so you can see all the foreshadowing, go through on a harder difficulty, and pick different choices. The game has immense replay value.
That fucker, I hated this fucker, because I would always like try to fight this fucker.
And the second playthrough so you can see all the foreshadowing, go through on a harder difficulty,
yes, sir.
and pick different...
Dude, this motherfucker was OP. Bro, if you try to fight this dude, it was instant death. Who killed this guy? It's at the point where you meet him, there's no way. That motherfucker slanging that pistol, bro.
Different choices. The game has immense replay value, and you won't pick up everything your first time through. I used to play as a dark side male, but honestly, it's just perfect if you play as a light-sided male. That's the canon way to play this game.
True.
You can essentially play through 4 times and have a completely different experience. Light and dark-sided male, light and dark-sided female. The story starts off simple enough, and right from the get-go, they drop subtle hints for the ultimate twist near the end. You're thrust into this huge conflict that you know nothing about. Just out of the blue, you wake up, and you're in Shit Creek. So your goal is to escape the Endar Spire and link up with Bastila. You meet a bunch of those companions along the way, do some side quests, and escape Terrace. After this, you head to Dantooine, where Bastila goes to talk to the Jedi Council about something important. The Council agrees to train you as a Jedi so you can use the Force on your journey to locate the star maps, which will lead to the ultimate Sith.
Bro, when you finally get to the star maps, it's so nice. Like, when I was a kid, because I was just running around Dantooine like a fucking chicken with its head cut off, and when I finally got to the star maps, I was like, yes! Yes! This is so satisfying.
Weapon, the Starforge. The Starforge allows for fleets of ships to be created unreasonably fast. So your main goal throughout the game is to destroy the Starforge, defeat Malak, and either free the galaxy from his terrible reign, or usurp his throne and claim the mantle of Dark Lord for yourself.
Hell yeah.
The story itself is pretty straightforward, but like a good RPG and what I mentioned before, you can choose to go through the way you want to. After Dantooine, you can go to any of the 4 planets. The idea of setting KOTOR 4,000 years before the events of the films was an interesting one indeed, but certainly allowed for near complete control and freedom for BioWare, without being forced to make a game that ties in with the films. BioWare chose to explore the seemingly untapped history of Star Wars. All the things that make a good Star Wars movie are here. Great action, Jedi vs. Sith, amazing characters, breathtaking worlds, an epic quest, and an amazing sci-fi universe that immerses you completely. Everything in KOTOR 1 is recognizable and familiar to the average Star Wars fan, but it also brings a lot of new things to the table that make it stand out. They even included a few references to the movies. What's also a really cool parallel between KOTOR and the films, and you probably didn't notice this, but Boba and Jango Fett are Mandalorians and descendants of Cassus Fett, whose armor can be found in the game. This means all the soldiers cloned from Jango are Mandalorians too.
Yeah.
So essentially, in the Star Wars universe, there were
Okay, so I'm gonna give this came out 6 years ago, so that obviously wasn't wide knowledge probably back then. But yeah, if anyone's watching this, they're probably a Star Wars fan and knew this a long time ago.
2 Mandalorian Wars, separated by 4,000 years. Mind-blowing, isn't it? Now, I mentioned this in my Star Wars...
It's not really Mandalorian Wars. It's, still Clone Wars, but yeah, I guess I see where you're coming from. And also, Jango wasn't technically a Mandalorian, but he did have Mandalorian blood, if that makes sense.
Battlefront 2 EA review, but it's such an important point I'll reiterate. KOTOR 1's story is great because it focuses less on what you're doing and more so on why you're doing all these things. It keeps the plot simple, easy to follow, and that's the brilliant part. For the majority of the game, you don't know why you're so qualified to track down the star maps. You don't know why you're so special that the Council goes against their own rules to train you.
You're a neophyte Padawan who's been saddled with the responsibility of tracking down these star maps. Why? That's not normal.
You don't know why you were on the Endar Spire, or any of this shit. KOTOR has such an interesting story, because for most of the game, why the player is such an integral part in the events is left a mystery.
Yep.
It's slowly revealed over time, until the Big Bang happens.
Oh yeah.
You cannot hide from what you once were, Revan.
Where the fun begins.
Recognize that you were once the Dark Lord, and know that I have taken your place.
The amount of subtle foreshadowing is phenomenal. Characters, NPCs, your companions, they all feel something special about you, but can't quite put their...
That twist was so crazy too, because that's when Bastila gets captured, I believe. That whole, like, bro, it's fucking wild.
Finger on it, and nobody could have guessed the twist of the game. It's simply stunning, just mind-blowingly brilliant. The big reveal on the Leviathan is quite possibly the greatest twist in video game history.
Oh, 100%.
Up until this point, you've been hearing all about Revan. Revan is the one
and
who
it's
gathered...
so cool because, like, the original Star Wars, the biggest twist in movie history was I am your father, which it's not anymore. People don't even think about that, like, because everyone knows that, but back then that was a huge twist. Massive.
Soldiers and Jedi to fight the Mandalorians when the Council did nothing. Revan was the one who turned to the dark side and discovered the Star Forge. Yep. Revan was the master of the main villain of the game. He was at first a savior, then became a conqueror.
Savior, conqueror, hero, villain. You are all things, Revan, and yet you are nothing.
And yet, when you begin on Terrace, Karth tells you this.
Everything I know about Malak is pretty much common knowledge. He escaped the trap that killed Darth Revan, his Sith master. With Revan's death, Malak became the new Dark Lord.
So your first time playing, you believe him. Because why would the game lie to you about that?
Yep.
It seemed like harmless exposition, but in reality it was to set up the expectation that Revan was just an important figure of the events prior to the game. In fact, Karth was telling the truth. Revan was killed, but it wasn't his body, it was his mind. Mm-hmm. When I saw this reveal for the first time, and I saw Revan on Korriban taking off his helmet and showing my face, I was in shock. I just sat there for 10 minutes listening to Malak, and I just couldn't believe it. This is the genius of the writing and the character Revan. Because he isn't voiced during dialogue sections, you are immersed as Revan. Yep. His amnesia is your amnesia.
It's the perfect situation for a silent protagonist. It's awesome.
His choices are your choices, and his revelation is your revelation. If you play KOTOR the canonical way, it's an incredible story of redemption and finding your identity. It teaches you that nobody is defined completely by what they did in the past, that no matter the crimes you may have committed, there is always a chance to be saved or to save yourself. True. Which brings me to Malak, the main villain. Along having the coolest voice ever, Malak is just a...
But is he really the main villain? You gotta read the books, bro. It's so good.
Badass.
Your predecessor once made the mistake of questioning my orders, Admiral. Surely you are not so foolish as to make the same mistake.
He may not be the deepest or most complex villain, but in this story, he works perfectly. And there's a good reason for that. Because of the history between him and you. You learn the history of the Mandalorian Wars, the fall of Revan and Malak, throughout the game, and when you're finally confronted with the truth of your identity, you've heard so much about both characters that your motivations for taking down Malak is more than just, I gotta save the galaxy. You've got a vendetta against this motherfucker. You need to settle the score. The apprentice has become the master. He's taken your place. Are you just gonna sit there and let him? There's a lot of history between these characters. You both went down the same path to the dark side. You led Malak there with you, and now it's your duty as Revan to undo what you've done.
Hell yeah.
What I love most is when you play light-sided, after beating Malak, you're able to redeem him right before his death. It's such a touching scene. Here's this big bad villain who you've been told countless times you need to
I'm sorry, every time I see him with his fucking tattoos, I always think of fucking Aang the Avatar with the fucking blue line. And then when he's missing his chin, bro, I always think the chick with the big ass chin fucking stole his chin. Oh my god, he's fucking goofy as shit.
He's an awful guy, a piece of shit, evil, rotten to the core. But he was your friend, your apprentice, your brother.
And they both in the books, I'm just gonna throw this out there because I'm fucking nerdy about this goddamn story. The Mandalorian Wars is going on, and the Jedi didn't want to get involved because they didn't want to escalate things. And but people were like dying, and they were taking over planets and shit. And they're like, bro, fuck this. And so they both like stood up against the Order and said, hey, fuck it. Any Jedis that want to go fucking save them, come with us, and we're gonna go fucking face off the Mandalorians, dude. Oh my god, I fucking need that to be somehow remade into a game or fucking a TV show or a movie, something. It's such a good story.
And despite every terrible action he had done, here he is, the Dark Lord of the Sith, thinking about what would have happened if things were different.
And it's cool now because they have so much lore behind it with Legends, with the books. They can expand on the games and make them so they can make it so nice, so buttery good, so much better.
This game does an incredible job of world and universe building. Every world...
Honestly, I think this game... Wow. This is crazy. Okay, so Final Fantasy VII was like one of the most popular Final Fantasy games ever. It got a lot of people into Final Fantasy, and the remake did the same thing. It's a big deal. Like, to a lot of people, you might not like the games at all, but it's a huge deal. I think if they remade this game and break it up into 3 parts, oh my god, I feel like it would have the same effect but more. Because I think there's a lot more Star Wars fans in the world than there are Final Fantasy. Oh, I think this would be insane.
You visit is rich with detail, it's vibrant, the planets feel alive, and you get invested into what's happening on each of them. Every planet has some kind of crisis going on, and something new to teach you that ties in with their location. You'll learn about different species living together on the diverse world of Terrace. You'll learn the Jedi ways on the tranquil planet of Dantooine.
Fuck that shit. Fuck Tranquil. That shit boring as hell. It is a cool... I'm not gonna lie. Dantooine has a lot of awesome moments, but damn, that map is fat. And the pieces are all... Bro, I can't wait for a new world map on a new game. It'll be so much better. You could do so much better on a map structure.
Learn about the harshness of life on the coarse, rough, and irritating Tatooine.
Yep.
You discover history and traditions as old as the dense forests of Kashyyyk. You engage in diplomacy and politics on the neutral water world of Manaan. You learn strength, cruelty, and self-service on the ruthless world of Korriban.
Yep.
And you get lost in mystery on the alienated Rakata Prime.
Bro, Rakata Prime, oof, they need to tap into that too.
The level of detail and uniqueness with every location brings KOTOR to life. You get a sense of how vast the galaxy really is, and why it's so...
Comment down below, because I'm not sure, but because there's so much lore that comes out of this game, just massive, like massive amount of lore that just ties off and branches off and everything. Did they create all this, or were they inspired by Legends and pull from some stuff? I don't know, because this game I can't speak. This game came out a long time ago, so I'd imagine it created most of it. But I don't know. I'm not like a lore master or anything. I've just read a lot of books.
Important to defeat Malak. The Rakata are most fascinating because of their rise and fall. You learn that they used to be the cold-blooded, unrelenting rulers of the galaxy. Their society was known as the Infinite Empire, but at the height of their power, after the construction of the Starforge, it began feeding on their evil intentions, their hatred and dark side tendencies. Eventually, through a series of revolts, conflicts, and inner fighting, the Rakata lost their connection to the Force permanently, and were reduced to nothing more than primitive tribes vying for control of a tiny, lost world. The rise and fall of a person, group, or organization is a constant within the Star Wars universe. But what KOTOR brought to Star Wars was something more valuable than any other game had brought up to this point, because it actually fleshes out the Jedi and the Sith, what makes them who they are. And
so much better. I wonder if anyone that was writing for the Acolyte ever played this game. I guarantee you they did. If I was a betting man, I would throw down the house on that shit. Straight up.
both ideologies are based off of real-world philosophies. The Jedi are altruistic, taught that self-sacrifice, a life lived for others, is the path to enlightenment. Concepts such as mercy, redemption, forgiveness are core to the Jedi philosophy, and the code is all about purging emotions, purging the self, so that only the good of others remains. The Jedi philosophy is very similar to Buddhism, and this is clearly seen in the final line of the Jedi Code. There is no death, there is the Force. As one of Buddhism's core ideas is that of rebirth after death. On the flip side, the Sith are self-serving, valuing strength, independence, and identity above all, taught that through tapping into their emotions, using them as your power, is the way to free oneself.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Is he gonna talk about the second game?
The Sith embody the philosophy of will to power, which is the idea that the driving force of humanity is achievement, ambition, and the desire to reach the top. The Sith have a much more loose structure of government because it is not viewed as a crime to kill someone and take their place.
It's encouraged, actually.
Weakness is a crime that is punished with death.
Yep.
And in fact, you are encouraged to kill as part of the Sith.
Yep.
Because only the strongest are fit to lead. And through the leadership of the strongest is how the Sith survive. They use their powers and life to further themselves, and just like the Jedi, this is shown in the final line of the Sith Code.
You know, it'd be also really cool if you want like a God of War style game. This would be fucking insane for Star Wars. Dude, imagine a Bane video game, but like the new God of War style. That shit would be crazy, man. That shit would be wild. Because you could, I would want to voice actor that one. It's less RPG, or not RPG, but less like, you know, versatile with like decision making and stuff like that. And I wouldn't mind them doing like the voice acting the protagonist for KOTOR if they did like someone like, you know, Keanu, because like we, you know, dreamcasted him for years now, so it'd be perfect.
The Force shall free.
He would just be a little older. That's the only problem, but I mean it still works. Just find someone to do the young Keanu for flashbacks and stuff like that. I think it could work pretty well.
Me, as the idea of will to power is the driving force of humanity. Your will, your accomplishments are what shall free you. This is the duality of Star Wars. One side lives for the well-being of others, one side lives for the well-being of themselves. But what is brilliantly illuminated through Bastila and Jolie's character arcs is that neither the Sith or Jedi have a perfect code or ideology. While the Jedi act as peacekeepers, it was their inaction that drove the other Jedi to...
I love how they always like talk about their doubts and stuff like that, because in real life, you know, that shit would be bottled up. But with the dialogue and everything, it just like forms this like this mindset from both sides so well.
War and the dark side, the inability to accept blame, the self-righteousness. The Jedi's biggest conflict was they could not separate themselves from their ego.
Exactly.
And this also prevented Bastila from living her life in the way she truly wanted.
Yep.
Who truly wants a loveless life of self-sacrifice?
So
and while the
stupid.
Sith may be a dominating force to be reckoned with, capable of great things, their system of rule revolves around power and individuality. It's a dictatorship governed by the strongest and most treacherous, with those who seek power often forgetting why they sought it in the first place. this.
All the things I wanted to do, all the wrongs I wanted to right, I haven't done any of it. They just get farther and farther from my mind. All I've cared about is power.
Eventually leading them to work only
and making sure that power doesn't slip through your grasp. Crazy, man. It's crazy. Reminds me of something, you know, something we have to deal with, you know, on a daily basis that we might, you know, vote on and stuff like that. Yeah.
Towards maintaining and increasing that power. It's a constant struggle for control, and the Sith can never find stability or use their power and influence to a higher goal. You know, it's rare to find a game that is so thought-provoking and ties into real-world philosophy like this.
Yep.
What's crazy to think is these ideologies play a background role against the main story, and they could be analyzed for hours. I find these types of stories so intriguing, and
that's the problem I have with the new Star Wars. Dude, they do not tap into that shit enough. It's so surface level. It's so fucking annoying.
I just love talking
It's like the same fucking motto every single time. They don't play with different ideas in the same realm. They stick to the, you know, the same, you know, you know what a Jedi is. We know what a Jedi is. We know, you know what the Force is. We know what the Force is. Let's talk about that, you know. No, let's talk about everything, bro. Let's get a little creative. Let's get off the trail.
About them and sharing my thoughts, and I hope you guys feel the same. This side of Star Wars is the reason why so many people love it, because we learn so much about ourselves. We learn what it means to be human, and it gives us an applicable perspective to the real world. And all that from a damn video game.
Yep, just a fucking bunch of pixels on a screen.
In conclusion, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is the type of game that you enjoy every minute of playing. It's an experience that can be analyzed and talked about for hours on end, with its stories, dialogue, and ideologies providing so many forms of interpretation, so many things to learn about ourselves and the world around us. It has memorable characters and companions you grow to like and care for, a system of morality and choices that empower the player, an intricate and engaging combat system.
It's interesting, that's for sure.
Beautiful, lively worlds to explore.
For its time, goated!
An epic quest that ties it all together, and the Star Wars universe backing it all up. Though it may have aged in the visual and gameplay department,
100%.
the quality voice acting, incredible writing, and world building make it a timeless classic and a must-play for any Star Wars fan. Graphics...
To be fair, Halo 3, Lord Hood's character design looks just like this. So, let's be fair, you know, it's ahead of its time in some aspects because that game's amazing looking, right?
But a good story can be enjoyed for the rest of time.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason why Knights of the Old Republic is considered one of the greatest games of all time.
Considered? You done playing it, my man? Come on, man, what you doing?
And it is for these reasons why it is well worthy of that title. And that is why Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is so awesome.
I fucking love it. What a banger.
What do you think?
Fucking
Let me know in the comments below. Do you prefer light side or dark side, and why?
I do prefer light side because you don't have to kill everybody. But I like to, you look at your meter like, all right, I'm a little too light right now. Next chance I have, I'm gonna, throw a little curveball in there. That's how I feel.
What do you think of the story, the game overall, and
Amazing.
all that jazz? Hope you enjoyed the video. Like it if you did. And
that's it, French kiss. Oh, this has been a long video. This has been a fucking movie, bro. I'm surprised I've never seen this video. This went hard, bro. He's got me wanting to play the game again, man.
Subscribe to the Act Man.
Go subscribe. He drops fucking bangers. Great
More
YouTuber.
awesome content.
Hell yeah.
That's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace.
Good ass. Let's check out the comment section. Let's see. Petition for him to act out the rest of the game. Yeah, that'd be dope. That intro inspired me. Yeah, the intro is fucking fire. Dude, that intro sequence deserved an award. I was rolling. Yeah, dude, it really caught me off guard because like this came out what 6 years ago. Yeah, I was like, damn, he's like having a double version of himself. Like, how do you do that, man? Dude went in. Where were we? This game that this is a game that should be remade. Yes, for modern engines on Unreal Engine for sure. But reuse all the audio files. Yeah, that would be interesting. They could definitely enhance the audio for sure. I don't know if the voice actors are still around or still working by any means, but for sure their voices sound different. Some might sound the same, but you could have them come in. I would just try to get them to agree to let you alter the voices just for the series, whatever you do. Because I would try to do KOTOR 1, 2, and 3. Because there is an ending to the story for sure, which would be really cool to play around with. But yeah, we'll see. Oh yeah, so that's it. This video was awesome. If you enjoyed it, go check Ackman out. If you haven't heard of him, go subscribe. Let him know Trey Swish sent you, or the Ether sent you, whichever you prefer. If you're confused, my name is Trey Swish, but YouTube is the Ether because I like to throw everything into the Ether. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Ether. Yeah, so I'm out. Deuces. Yeah, peace sign. I'm a one take Andy, so yeah, I just fuck editing.